Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto dessert recipe for you. Today I am going to show you how to make a keto version of Little Debbie Christmas trees. I love Little Debbie Christmas trees, but of course they are not keto friendly in the least bit. So today, guess what? You get to enjoy your favorite treat without the guilt. And if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out new videos. And if you are a music lover, make sure you check out the link in the description to my other YouTube channel, Inspirational Songs with Janet. I've posted another new song there, so make sure you check that out and subscribe there also. And if you would like to help support this channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So while we do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Line a 13 by 9 inch cake pan with some parchment paper or a baking sheet with some parchment paper and allow the paper to hang over the sides just a little bit so you can easily remove the cakes once they're all done. In a large mixing bowl, combine 56 grams or around a half cup of coconut flour, 10 grams or around 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 65 grams or around 1/3 cup of the granulated sugar substitute of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. Sift the dry ingredients all together until they're fully combined and there are no lumps. Add 3 large room temperature eggs, 1/3 cup of butter that's been melted, 120 milliliters or around a half cup of room temperature keto milk of your choice. My favorite keto milk is always coconut milk. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Whisk the wet and dry ingredients all together until they're fully combined and a thick, smooth batter forms. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push all your batter to the center of the bowl. Then spread the batter evenly throughout your prepared cake pan. I don't usually spread this all the way to the edges of the pan. I spread it out to probably around an 8 by 10 inch rectangle, somewhere around in there. It really all depends on how thick or thin you want your trees. Keep in mind that once everything's done baking and the cakes are all put together, it's going to be 2 layers. So you don't want each layer to be super thick. So you want to spread this kind of thin, not so thin that it's like cookie thin, but somewhat thin. Keep in mind also that this is coconut flour. Coconut flour doesn't rise really. So basically, however thick or thin that you spread this out, that's pretty much what the thickness is going to be once it's done baking. Once the batter's been spread out thin, place it in your preheated oven. Bake at 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes or until the edges are golden and a tester comes out clean. Once the cake slab is done baking, remove it from the oven and allow it to cool in the pan for about 15 minutes so it can continue to firm up. After 15 minutes, grasp the overhanging parchment paper, leave the paper attached to the bottom of the cake slab, and transfer the slab to a wire rack. Then place the wire rack and the cake slab in your freezer and let it chill for about 15 minutes so it can completely cool and continue to firm up. Chilling it really quick like this is going to help your cake firm up more and hopefully not crumble when you cut it into your tree shapes. While the cake is chilling, for the filling, all I did was spoon 1 cup of ready-made keto vanilla frosting into a mixing bowl. Duncan Hines has a really good keto ready-made frosting. I just added a couple tablespoons of powdered sugar substitute, which in my case I like powdered monk fruit allulose blend. Beat them together for about 1 minute until they're firm and fluffy, and that's my filling. But if you don't want to use a ready-made store-bought frosting, I'll put a link in the description to my zebra cake filling. That works really good in this also. I'll also put a link in the description to my marshmallow frosting. That works really good as a filling in this also. If you do choose to use the marshmallow frosting, then you'll want to add 1 to 2 tablespoons more of a powdered sugar substitute just to give a little bit of firmer texture so it'll be a firm filling and not just a thin frosting. Or you can put any kind of filling you want in this, whatever filling you desire to put in the middle of your trees, that is entirely up to you. Then once you're done beating it all together, place it in the refrigerator until your cakes are done chilling. After the cakes have chilled for 15 minutes and they're firm, remove them from the freezer and carefully remove the paper. Then use a cookie cutter and cut the cake slab into tree shapes. If you don't have a cookie cutter, you can just cut the slab into squares or triangles. When you're cutting the cake slab, make sure you cut very close. That way you can have as little scraps as possible. I usually kind of alternate the cookie cutter. I'll cut one tree right side up, and then I'll put the cutter right next to the other one and turn it upside down and cut another tree upside down. So if that makes any sense. So I alternate back and forth. The scraps that you do have left over, just put them in a bowl, and you can keep them in your refrigerator or your freezer and just eat them as a snack, or you can use them in any recipe that requires cake crumbs. I like to mix mine with some berries and add a little bit of melted frosting or pudding and mix them all together and make a cake bowl. Once your cake slab is all cut into shapes, remove your filling from your refrigerator. Spread about 1 tablespoon or your desired amount of filling over half of the trees. Make sure you leave a little bit of space around the edges. That way the filling doesn't ooze out once you put the second cake on top. Top the trees with the filling on them with a plain tree and very gently press the trees together to seal the 2 layers a little bit. Be careful when you press them. You don't want them to crumble, so gently press them just enough to seal together. Place the tree cakes back onto a lined baking sheet and place them in the freezer for another 15 minutes. This just makes them firmer, which makes the cakes easier to coat. After about 15 minutes, remove the tree cakes from your freezer. Melt 9 ounces of Keto white chocolate chips. I like to use either Chalk Zero or Lily's white chocolate chips. You can melt these in your microwave or on your stovetop. If you do it in your microwave, then set your microwave power at 50% and then melt it in 20 to 30 second intervals until it's completely melted. And if you're doing it on the stovetop, then you want to do it in a double boiler on a very low heat. If it gets too hot, the chocolate can seize up on you and you don't want that. So be very careful when you're melting your chocolate. Once your chocolate is melted, place the cakes one at a time in the melted chocolate and spoon the melted chocolate over the tops and the sides of the cakes to fully coat the cake. Then use a fork and carefully lift the cake out of the chocolate and place it back onto your lined baking sheet or cake pan. If you want to, you can sprinkle some green sprinkles or sand sugar on top of your cakes. I'll put a link in the description to my keto sprinkles and my keto colored sugar substitute if you want to use that. I like to put a little bit of a red ribbon on the trees also. I'm just using decorating gel here, but I know that's probably not keto friendly. So you can always just, with your extra melted chocolate, add a little bit of red food coloring and then just use a spoon and drizzle that over the top of the trees if you want a red ribbon around the tree. Repeat the coating process until all of your tree cakes are completely coated with the white chocolate and placed on your lined baking sheet. Then place the cakes into the refrigerator and refrigerate for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the coating is firm. Once the coating is firm, remove the cakes from the refrigerator. You can serve these immediately. If you do have any leftovers, you can store them in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 1 week or in an airtight container in your freezer for up to 2 months. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.